Continue to watch what's going on in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri. This is a live picture right now. Protests continue. As you know, chaos has ripped through the city after a white police officer shot an unarmed black teen more than a week ago now. Officials there hope there's not a repeat, that they don't have a repeat of last night when nearly 60 people were arrested. 16 of those arrested are from out of state. Clearly, tensions are still very high and only escalating in Ferguson. Joining us now to talk about that ongoing unrest is Dr. Erik. He's a psychologist and author here in Atlanta. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, the unrest is only escalating, and I would expect that you would say you're not surprised by that.
No, I'm not, because what you have to look at here is there's trying to be a match of force. That you have a police department that people in the community felt overstepped their bounds, or an individual in that police department, and they didn't seem to accept a responsibility for what people perceived as happening.
So it's reactionary. It's a reaction to try to reach that same level of power?
Well, there is, and/or surpass it. And when you have that tendency to want to surpass power, then the next group is going to want to up that. And you have a whole number of people coming together from across the country to support each other in some ways in a peaceful process, but there are others who may be coming to either kind of watch this unfold, as well as others who may be coming for a more criminal element, unfortunately, which takes away from the potential for meaningful discussion.
You're saying people coming, you're talking about people that are perhaps capitalizing on the situation.
There are some who will capitalize in situations, whether it's here or whether it's, in other places where there's unrest.
Now, a moment ago, you were talking about that struggle for power. We had the local law enforcement, we had the state highway patrol, we have the federal government involved, and now the National Guard. What do you make of the presence of the National Guard? Well,
I think what the goal is that they feel like they're trying to bring in sources who may be more neutral to be able to create a strong front to then, when you have a strong front, hopefully you'll have a sense of security that things can calm down. However, I think it's being perceived. No, it's not, because I think it's seen that people don't trust authority. And when there's not a trust in authority, there's going to be fear, there's going to be a desire to take control back. And this is part of, again, a more meaningful issue of a discussion about a disparity that's been there and has been not discussed for a long time.
But discussions aren't happening right now.
They're not, because people are caught in the exchange of emotion. They're not in a place of reason. They're in a place of anger and rage and betrayal and fear and mistrust.
So let's talk about the potential for positive here, what you call a cultural revolution. You say that is possible if we can get to that point. And describe what you mean.
Well, cultural revolution, we have to see that there are a large segment of our population, whether they're African American or whether they're Hispanic or whether they're poor or whether they're different religions, that feel marginalized in our culture, that feel that they've been taken advantage of by, in some ways, the majority. This is a human experience, but it opens up the possibility for us to have meaningful discussions of change that are more inclusive and more that we're hearing each other.
Dr. Erik Fisher, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.